Please stand by for further details. We return you now to your regularly scheduled program.
Hello to those of you who are feeling called to this reading in particular. Welcome to your mystery reading. I'm going to start off with drawing out a card from the Prisma Visions Tarot, and then get another card from these box of cards that I made myself. If you didn't already know, if you'd like to be a part of the community that I'm trying to create, subscribe and hit that notification bell. And before I get your first card, remember that this is a general reading that could be meant for more than one person. So if you're struggling to find meaning in a message, that's okay. Just let it go, because it might just be meant for someone else. And if it truly was meant for you, the universe and your spirit guides will make that obvious to you, either sometime during this reading or sometime during your journey. So before I started recording, I had the theme song for the TV show Drake and Josh stuck in my head. I'm not totally sure why. Maybe the name Drake or Josh could be significant, that TV show itself could be significant, or the lyrics in the song could be significant. The part that stuck in my head is, I never thought that it would be so simple, but I found a way. I found a way. If you open up your mind, it's gonna take some time to realize over your shoulder, you know that I'd always be picking you up when you're down. So just take that however it resonates. I'm not exactly sure if I said those lyrics correctly. Maybe you want to look it up if you feel like it. But the first card that I'm going to give you or show you fell on the table. It is the Four of Pentacles with the Sun and Capricorn and the element of Earth. A very earthy, 3D, physical type of energy. This is about the reality that you are currently facing at this time. The Four of Pentacles can definitely be about boundaries and making sure that you're not overgiving. In general, it's about making sure that you are being responsible with your resources. So whoever is watching this at this time, you are being called to use your resources responsibly. Don't overuse them, but also, if you can afford it, you can have fun as well. Just be wise with your money or with any material things that you have. I do feel drawn to the apples in this tree. I think they're apples. And feeling drawn to that, I got a message about the forbidden fruit, the apple that was not supposed to be eaten. There could be something here very much tempting you. Like, I just heard something about consumerism. You're feeling tempted to buy something, to overdo something, and you need to pay attention to this temptation, this devil type of energy, and take care of it. Understand where your desire is actually coming from, and make sure that it's not coming from a place of I was gonna say not a place of need, but I'm also not trying to tell you don't spend your resources on your needs. I'm saying, like, for example, if you want to say you want to buy something that you really like but you don't need it, and it's actually not financially healthy for you to buy it, make sure that it's not coming from a place of lack, like a mental, emotional type of need, because there are definitely better ways to take care of your mental health or your emotional needs. Protect yourself from yourself is what I'm feeling. If you're seeing the number 444, which I personally have been seeing that number a lot, so maybe this message is partially for me. I just saw 432, so trust that everything happens for a reason. Know that this temptation type of energy, you're not alone. It is really hard to not fall into the consumerism and to want. Maybe this is a good opportunity for you to get into your hobbies, or to better understand how to have a good time without spending money. I just saw 4, 5, 6. This is definitely happening for a reason. The universe, your spirit guides are trying to push you in a certain direction, but in the direction that encourages growth and not, self-destructive behavior. I just heard, I found a way. Yeah. And on my channel in the about section it says there's always a way out, and I do believe that. Whether you need a way out mentally or physically, there's always a way. And it's just a matter of if you're willing to explore what that way is. This definitely feels more emotional. Sometimes the way out is not as obvious because it isn't material. It's more mental and emotional and cerebral and stuff like that. So you need to be focused on finding a way out of your own emotional turmoil, emotional baggage, whatever you want to call it, your own self-destructive behaviors to, it's like emotional. You have like an emotional way of looking at things that is destructive, and it's showing up in your actions. So if you want to get rid of your self-destructive actions or, whatever, you need to first learn how to get rid of the emotional destruction. I think that's actually a really good way to describe it, emotional destruction, because sometimes, we just get so upset about not being able to afford something not going our way. And, I really think that comes from an inner child type of place. I felt something here about a broken home. Your younger self sounds like it's trying to connect with you, but it's not obvious because it comes through as being really upset when things don't go your way. And I'm not calling you childish or anything like that. Literally everybody has that happen to them. Well, not everybody, a lot of people, I can say that, have it happen to them where they didn't get a fair chance when they were growing up, and ultimately they have an adult life where, the patterns kind of repeat themselves. And it can be really frustrating. It can definitely be really frustrating, but if you use this frustration in a destructive way, it's going to keep you stuck or even move you backwards. I just felt something here, like sometimes you have to go backwards to move forward. So I don't know, maybe that resonates in a different context, because I don't feel like you're being encouraged to go backwards and to be destructive. I feel like it's more about going backwards in terms of where you're at materially, financially, or physically. Sometimes you have to accept that you can't have this thing to be able to have it in the future. Is there anything else that I could get from this? No, it seems pretty, like I feel, it doesn't have to be something like, something like a physical thing that you want to buy from the store, or food, or it could be a relationship too. There's something here that your inner child is kicking and screaming about not going the way it wants it to go, because your inner child, or yourself, however you want to look at it, they had a dream, they had visions, or they were attached to a certain way of things. But you need to treat your younger self like you would a child. Maybe you don't know how to treat children. I mean, for me personally, I feel uncomfortable around children just because they're unpredictable and I just don't know how to be around them. And that could come from a place where I didn't, I just have that disconnect with my younger self. So it's not a bad thing all the time to connect with your inner child. Sometimes that is a good thing, but we also have to learn how to be open to being disappointed, to being let down, to things not going our way. And again, I'm not trying to talk down to anybody or anything. I'm just trying to give it to you straight. But sometimes it's more about trauma and things that we went through as a child than our actual character. So again, really, really try to understand where this temptation, this self-destructive behavior is coming from. And the best way to understand that is to reflect, to give yourself the time and space to think, to reflect on your thoughts, the way that you think, the way that you look at things, how you feel about things, and just the way that you express yourself in general. I did just see 1010, so the universe and your spirit guides really want you to know that they are there with you. They want to help you. They want to support you. Pay attention to signs, messages, synchronicities, especially if you see the number 444, because they're really genuinely trying to help you, and they don't want you to see this as like a punishment, because there is something to gain from this, and you just have to shift your perspective to be able to see it. Okay, so the channeled card that I have from the cards that I made myself, I have the Tower. It says 777, trust fall, an adventure that arises from deep wisdom, trust of life and self. Give yourself space and time, literally like I just said, to process this painful realization. Don't worry, this will help you in the long run. There is something to gain from this, is what I've been saying. Clarity will come in time. Focus on letting go and healing. So the Tower energy is really interesting, because that can definitely be a destructive, like upheaval, big changes type of energy. And I feel like the big change here is the way that you're looking at things. You're not going to be comfortable with obtaining that new perspective simply because it's different. It's change. You're not going to like it at first. But you'll get used to it. That's something I've been saying to myself a lot to help me get more comfortable with change lately. You'll get used to it. You will adapt. I think it's interesting that this says trust fall. I think this is really just pointing out that the universe doesn't want you to see this as a punishment. Trust that this is for your highest good and the highest good of all, of those around you, of your community, of the planet. I just saw 1212, communicate and set boundaries with yourself. You have to be willing to say no to yourself, especially if you want to learn how to say no to other people. You have to be willing to say no to your younger self. If you want to be able to say no to children, this is more for people who have who are parents. I just saw 1, 2, 3, another sign there. To trust that everything happens for a reason. So please don't take this lack in your life as something personal or as punishment. I just think the universe really wants you to see and understand and take advantage of your power, how much you actually do have. I'm feeling like, I want to say something about having a shift in perspective, even though I say this lack in your life. Sure, maybe there's lack here in this area, but what about other areas of your life? What can you focus on appreciating instead of dwelling in disappointment and maybe even jealousy? This shift in perspective is really, really going to serve you well if you allow yourself to have this shift. And not only will you shift your perspective, energetically you will feel a shift. I don't know how to describe it, but you'll feel it. You will feel it. But is there anything... this card really kind of spoke for itself. Give yourself time and space to process this painful realization. It's very hard and challenging to accept things that we can't control. Nobody's telling you that it's not difficult. Your spirit guides in the universe are trying to tell you that you have the strength to navigate this, to get through this. Don't worry, like the card says, maybe there's a car here that could be significant. Don't spend money on a car, maybe that could be significant here. But only take it if it resonates. If you can afford it and you want to do it, go for it. But the ultimate theme here or message is to don't, spend your money wisely. Use your resources wisely and make sure you are taking care of yourself in every way that you deserve first. Make sure that you are putting you, your safety, your stability first before any material thing. Because without that safety and that stability, ultimately you have nothing. You have nothing to build on. Which is interesting that we're talking about more foundational things now, because the tower is about a breakdown and a foundation. So, yeah. I feel like this is meant to help you build a more stable foundation, something more stable to build off of. The universe is thinking about your future long term, not short term. You gotta remember that. And so you should be thinking long term as well. And I want to say, like, for me personally, ever since I had to quit my job, I've been struggling a lot, simply just because I have not been able to spend money as much as I want to, or just enjoy the material things in life as much as I want to. But it was worth it. It can be hard to see that at times, because, you know, sometimes I get stuck in my own head and my own beliefs and everything, but you're not alone. And I know sometimes it can be really hollow hearing that. Trust me, I know. But sometimes it can help to know that the issues, the setbacks, the lack in your life that you are facing are much bigger than you. And for some people, it's not even your fault. It's not even your fault. So don't make things harder for yourself than they need to be when they are already challenging. Especially with the tower here. Whoever's watching this, you're already going through something difficult. So don't make it hard on yourself. Don't beat yourself up for things that you can't control. I just saw 654. Yeah, the universe doesn't want you to beat yourself up for a reason. I mean, even if it is your fault, you know, it's beating yourself up is just not going to help. And, you know, taking your frustration, your anger out on yourself and your future is not going to help. It's just going to make you more frustrated. So focus on the fact that there is a better way to express yourself and to take care of your emotional needs than being attached to something or someone outside of yourself. I think I saw 1717, that comes down to 88. That's a master number, and then 88 comes down to 16, a 7. Doesn't the tower come down to a 7? We also have another 7, or plenty of 7s there. I don't remember. No, yeah, the tower does come down to a 7. That's why I wrote 777. So yeah, maybe the number 7 could be significant for you. I know for me lately, the number 7 has been all about wisdom. So this could be a really, really good opportunity for you to dive deep into your spirituality, your faith. Again, it's all about perspective. But I think that will be the end of your reading. I really, really hope that it was helpful or relevant in some way. If you liked it, hit the like button to show me that. That is the best way to support me. And if you'd like to offer even more support, you can do so by donating through the thanks button directly below the video. Absolutely not obligated, but always very much appreciated. Feel free to leave a comment down below if you have any. I'd really love to connect with you more. And thank you so much to those of you who have shown your support thus far. It really means a lot to me, and it always makes a difference. And the last thing that I want to say is thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you around.